Google, according to the chief diversity person, is racist. Wow. Let me give you some background to this. April Curley, who's the former person in charge to make sure Google was actually diverse. April Curley was hired to recruit more Black employees for Google. Curley says she was fired after she vocally opposed and called for reform of the barriers and double standards Google imposed on Black employees and applicants. Let's show a picture. There she is, Miss Curley. In the lawsuit, Miss Curley filed Friday in federal court in San Jose, California. She accuses Google of intentionally pigeon-holing Black employees into lower paying roles after interviewers hazed Black candidates and asked level-inappropriate questions to hurt hiring prospects. These issues are known as systemic in the culture of the interviewing process. While they may not present themselves as racist, their outcome tends to impact one group over another, okay? Something that a person like her is trained to know. Google hires few Black employees and steers those few into lower level roles, pays them less, denies them advancement in leadership roles because of their race. Curley seeks damages for discriminatory employment practices and policies. She seeks class action status for the suit to bring in Black current and former Google employees. That's according to Mercury News. There's more. Black Google employees face a hostile work environment and suffer retaliation if they dare to challenge or oppose the company's discriminatory practices, Curley says in the lawsuit. Google has not responded to the suit, which comes after the company released its diversity report last year. So here are the numbers. Just 4.4% of its US workers were Black, with 3% in technology. More than half of the company is white, and the remaining groups are Asian at 42%, Latinx 6.4%, Native American 0.8%. Black people make up 3% of Google's leadership position, while 2/3 are white. 69% of Black consumers are more likely to purchase from a brand whose advertising positively reflects their race and their ethnicity. But you know who told us that? Well, Google did. That was actually a survey done by Google and published by Google. They are well aware that Black people consume their product. Think about the masses, right? Okay, this is nothing new. It is ironic, however, that the individual who was in charge of making sure there was diversity and inclusion got fired for making sure there was diversity and inclusion. Here's the reality: when you hire somebody in those positions, you have to expect it. I'm talking to white corporate leaders in particular. You hire somebody in that position, you have to expect pushback, because they are advocating a transformation of the DNA of your corporate culture. Argumentation will happen, pushback will happen, rebuttal will happen. That is what they're supposed to do. Their role is not simply to advocate for Google and say, damn my actual position. They're supposed to advocate for the position and actually get you to a place of public responsibility, social responsibility. Well, that takes pressure. That does not come with honey, roses, and rainbows. That comes with hard conversation, direct talk, people who are willing to say no to you when you would prefer they say yes. That's how this works. And you respect them as the professional they are. If they understand dynamics of diversity and inclusion, especially as it relates to recruiting, you should listen. They are professionals. You are not. You have proven one thing by hiring a diversity and inclusion executive: you don't know how to do it. Attorney, what are your thoughts on this case?
I find what you said to be absolutely accurate. What we're facing here right now in society is a cultural shift, that shift toward inclusivity, and workplaces should be advancing that, given that you are shown based on research, irrefutable, the fact that you will make more money if you have a more diverse workforce, of course, because you have different ways of thinking under your roof and people with a diverse range of talents and skills. But the reality is that we also live in a society that still uplifts the white male cis hetero patriarchy, and tech has a long time been about white males and their dominance. And so the thought that you can possibly shift that and change it and create greater inclusivity, even if it means greater profits, is something that is often pushed back upon. So to see this individual file suit is so incredibly important in terms of revealing what is really going on behind the walls of these companies that claim to be diverse and claim to be uplifting various groups while taking our money readily, yet not hiring us. And so it's incredibly important that she move forward with this lawsuit and that these companies actually make real institutional change, because it's not happening, yet they're out here tap dancing and pretending that they are invested in it.
Very well said. And I know people who are serving as diversity and inclusion directors, executives, and major companies throughout the country. And typically, Adrienne, you know this, they don't sue. They see what's happening and they know they are there to fight the discriminatory practices. And even if it doesn't work out, they typically do not sue. Maybe they exit on good terms, but they do not sue, right? So this is a rare move for somebody in her position to actually sue the company she has left in the position that she once held, all right?